The Natt och Dag clan was very rich until the end of the 17th century, and then one single guy ruined us. He spent all of that fortune in his lifetime, and when he died there was only debts left. So for the last 300 years or so it's been we had to write books and stuff. About 10 people has to die before I'm even sort of head of the remaining clan Natt och Dag. The royal family these days were imported in 1810, so they are of French descent. But if we had to stage a coup d'etat basically and grab power, I think, for that to happen. So I think there will be many more eligible people. But anyway, I think the royal family will kind of be, the arrangement in Sweden will probably be reconfigured, I think, in the coming decades anyway. In Sweden, the system is also extremely unsexy because you submit your manuscript in a PDF format on a web page with a personal letter that you fill in online, and then, like, to the minute, 3 months afterwards, you will get an automated reply saying, "Thanks for showing interest, but we don't want your work, and please observe you cannot reply to this email." And that is horrible. Eventually I got the better kind of rejection, and then you get a personal letter and somebody has actually been given the task of reading the whole manuscript and sort of submit a report to the publisher. And even though they don't want the book, they will do you the favor of giving you that report. So you will have a sort of professional assessment of the thing you have written. And that is, of course, also horrible at first, but I read those letters that I had got, and then I reread my own manuscript with that in mind. And I had to sort of concede that there was a point to what they were saying. The rejected versions, the usual criticism was that there was too much history, and I've been given to understand that if you write historical fiction, that is one of the main pitfalls that you fall into, because you do your research, you read a lot, and on one hand you want to show how good you are, that you've done your homework, and on the other hand you kind of fall in love with the source material and you want to share all this knowledge that you find. You will find details and anecdotes which are really interesting and you want to fit them all in the book, but that happens at the expense of plot and character development and so forth. So when I was being rejected, the main criticism was there's too much history, and I turned that down quite a lot. And then, of course, yeah, there's this certain readers react badly to the violence, and more than that, I think, to the way the violence is handled. And to me, I'm really interested in how we consume violence as a product. And I mean, in any given day, we tend to sort of indulge in fiction revolving around murders, and it's kind of exciting and a little bit cozy. And I think violence is horrible, and I want it to be horrible in my novel. Stockholm is basically, this is an island called the Old Town today, but basically in 1790s this would be Stockholm and all the rest would be suburbs. So beyond the bridges you will have what is today the main bulk of Stockholm, and this is basically a tourist trap. But also you will find little pockets of the 18th century appearing here and there. So there's quite a lot around, but all of Stockholm is not like that. It's grown a huge lot since. I remember being a little boy and sort of being quite lonely and falling in love with reading, and I realized that there was this really strange relationship between a writer and a reader. It's a totally one-sided relationship, but nevertheless a very intimate one to me. You would feel very close to somebody who's probably maybe dead or very much removed from your everyday life. And to me that was a kind of magic, and ever since I always thought that, okay, an author is for sure the best occupation you could ever have. You will be company to those who have none. So that was always my dream anyway.